Hey guys, you're welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, you're welcome, and if you're a returning subscriber, you're welcome back. So by the title of the video, you already know it's a story time. so today's story is about the time I had a sugar daddy without even knowing I had one. Yeah. So if you'd like to know the tea, keep on watching. This story happened in 2019, but it progressed over a few years. So yeah, this was how it all started. It was during my internship in 2019. I won't mention where I did my internship. People who know me know where I did my internship, but it was a place where you meet people of all calibers. So on this fateful day, one of my supervisors had given me her food to go microwave in the kitchen, which I took downstairs to do. On my way coming back, I met this man. He was sitting on one of the chairs there in the hall, and he said to me, where is mine? And I said, oh, good evening, daddy, because if I'm a Nigerian, and if you know one thing about Nigerians and where I come from, we tend to call elderly people daddy or mommy, even though they are not related to us. It's just a way of showing respect when the person is way older than you and you feel like that person is old enough to give birth to you. So I said, Daddy, I greeted him and I said, Daddy, yours is coming in a container. It's a special delivery for you. And then he laughed about it, and then I went on with my day. I gave my boss the food, and I think I had to do something because the role where I was working in, I had to go upstairs, downstairs, upstairs, downstairs. Like I would walk around a lot. So on my way going downstairs to give a file to the operations head. So on my way downstairs, who do I meet? This same daddy. So I was like, hey sir, and then he shook my hand, and in his palm there was cash and a paper that had his phone number and his name, and he said, call me uncle. Okay, so we'll give him a name. We'll call him Mr. Companionship. So he was like, call me Uncle Companionship. It will all make sense later. So I was like, okay, thank you, sir. Mind you, where I work, we used to get tips, but only when you attend to somebody. So seeing someone gift me, even though the money was folded, like I could tell it was quite a lot. So I was surprised that he gifted me money. Like he tipped me for not even doing anything for him, just by being nice to him and talking to him politely. Mind you, let me drop this in, that he wasn't dressed casually, and he wasn't dressed like in an expensive way. He just looked normal. And I guess he was surprised that, oh, she was being nice to me even with the way I looked. So fine. I took the money. I was excited. I went back to my bag. I dropped the money there. So I didn't call him, to be honest. I didn't bother calling him because in my mind I was like, oh, this is an old man. What do I do with him? I see him as someone my father's age. When I got home, I counted the money that day. He had given me 5,000 naira mint, and the money was actually new cash. So I was so excited, being a young girl. At the time, I was in my early 20s, very early 20s. So yeah, days go by. I didn't bother calling him and all that. Until one fateful day, I was watching the TV, one comedy show by a comedian, a popular comedian. I can't even remember. I can't tell if it was Basket Mouth or Bovi. But who do I see? I see Uncle Companionship. And mind you, these comedians, when they do these shows, they have like VIP, they have VVIP, and they have like the regulars. So these VIP and VVIP tables are usually on the higher side, like very pricey. They range from like 1 million naira, sometimes 2 million naira. And at the time, a naira to euro or dollar to naira was about 600 naira to a dollar. So 2 million naira was like 3,000 plus US dollars. Who do I see on that table? Uncle Companionship. And I was like, I know this man. I know this man. This was the man I met while I was doing my internship. Mind you, I was still doing my internship at this time, but I was like, this is him. He was the one who gave me the cash. I didn't know whether I had misplaced the number because I had changed bags a few days before or weeks before then, so I wasn't sure. Luckily for me, after going through all my bags, I found his number. Yeah, some people will call me a gold digger, that because I saw him on TV, that was why I went to chat him up. But in my head, I was like, maybe this is the helper I've been praying about. I mean, he might be the helper I've been praying about. So yeah, I didn't chat him that evening. I chatted him the next day. I told him, hey, this is so from so. And then he was like, oh, he remembers me. How is work going? How is my internship? How is school? And then I told him and all that. And then we continued chatting. Mind you, this was in 2019, yeah? So in 2020, during the pandemic, so we were all home. And I remember something just told me to chat him up. And because at that time, we hadn't chatted for a while. So I chatted him up. And then he was like, oh, longest time, blah, blah, blah. How are you? How is your studies? And I told him that, oh, I'll be going to school like in a week. Because mind you, at that time, everywhere was on lockdown. School, we couldn't write exams or anything. So I had to go to school the next year, which was for my 400 level, to like do some registration and all that. So I told him that I would be going to school the next day, only for this man to ask for my account number, which I sent to him, even though at first I was like, oh, you don't bother, you don't have to and all that, but I still sent it. So the next day I was in school and I received an alert of 30,000 naira. So for non-Nigerians, 30,000 naira at the time was equivalent to about $50. Yeah. So he sent 30,000 naira, and so the name, because I had even forgotten that I gave him my account number. So the name looked so similar to my elder sister's name. So I had to look at it very well, and I was like, wow, this man sent me 30,000 naira for just transportation. And then when I like texted him to say, oh, thank you so much, I got this money, he was like, oh, it's nothing, it's just for transportation to go to school and all that. And I was like, thank you. So we kept on chatting and all that. We kept on talking for a while until, mind you, this was late 2020. So in 2021, that was when he decided that we would meet. So he told me that he wanted us to meet at Marriott. And immediately I heard Marriott, I knew it was a hotel. So I told him, oh, I'm so sorry, sir, I've never done this before. Because mind you, I had never been with a man that old. A man as like old enough to be my father. I dated an older guy, but he was just like maybe 10 years older than I was, but not maybe 30 something years older than me. So I told him, oh, I'm so sorry, sir, I've never done this before, that I don't think I can come meet you there. And then he said, oh, no, it's not that we can just meet in the lounge, have drinks, food, and then I'll go back home, blah blah blah. So I was like, fine, why not? I get to go out and enjoy myself. So yeah, the day we were supposed to meet, this man sent me 20,000 naira for my Uber, which I was excited about. So I took my Uber, I got there, and when I got there, I didn't want to get in the lounge. So I was outside and I called him and I was like, I'm outside, where are you? And he said, oh, he's almost there, that in 2 minutes I will see him. So he was supposed to arrive before me, but he had forgotten his laptop at home. So he had to turn back to go get it. So that was why I got there a few minutes before him, because he left his house way earlier than I did. So yeah, so I noticed that they were opening the gate, the security, and I saw this Toyota Land Cruiser Prado. At the time, I didn't even know the name of the car, but I knew it was expensive and it looked brand new. So I didn't even know he was the one. He said to me that he could see me, and I was like, where are you? Because I wasn't even expecting that he would be the one driving in that car. So when he drove in front of me, like I was just looking at him, and like, because I wasn't expecting to see him in that car. So I was looking into the car and I could see how neat it was and brand new. So I said to him that, wow, your car is really nice. And he said to me, yeah, mind you, I didn't know the name, but I just knew that it was an expensive car because it looked expensive. And mind you, like I said, this was 2021, right? You know, Nigerian men, they like to show off. So yeah, he said to me, yeah, it's a Toyota Land Cruiser Prado 2020 model. So it was the previous year, because remember I said the car looked brand new. The inside was clean. So yeah, he told me the car, and I was like, oh, nice. Even though I didn't know how expensive it was, but I knew it was expensive. Yeah, so we went in to drink and all that. He asked me what I wanted to drink. At the time, I would only drink either Maltina or Smirnoff Ice. So he was like, no, let's do red wine. The red wine is good for the heart, because he had told me before that he has health issues and the only alcohol he was allowed to take was red wine because it was good for the heart. It was from him I learned that. So yeah, he ordered red wine, and he asked me what I wanted to eat, and I ordered lamb chops and fried rice. I can't forget. Yes, so we were eating, drinking, talking, and I noticed this man was starting to get high. He was starting to get tipsy because I don't know, for some reason that wine was making his eyes look red. So yeah, I noticed he was getting tipsy, and this man started being flirty. Mind you, this was someone who said he just wanted us to see and, talk. From nowhere, this man just asked me, do I wear waist beads? And mind you, at the time, I used to wear waist beads. So yeah, I said, yes, I do wear waist beads. And he was like, how much do you buy one? And young and naive me, I told him 1,500 naira. This man counts, I think at first he counted 40 something thousand naira. He counted 40 something thousand naira and gave to me. Mind you, I told him this thing cost 1,500 naira each, but he counted 40 something thousand naira. And what he does is that he'll bring out cash from his pocket. He'll act like he wants to start counting it, and then he'll just give it to me. We kept on talking. We continued talking. After a while, okay, yeah, so he started saying I can follow him home, that his wife isn't home, that his wife was out of the country. I could follow him home if I wanted to. And I said, oh no, that I didn't tell my mom that I will be sleeping out. Mind you, I'd lied to my mom that I went to my friend's house, and this friend of mine was my closest friend at the time, so my mom knew her, and it wasn't the first time I was spending the night at my friend's place. But I didn't tell my mom that day I was going to be spending the night out. So I told him that, I didn't tell my mom, and he was like, I can just tell my mom that something came up and I had to sleep over at my friend's place. And mind you, this is a man that I was just meeting for the second time in how many years? I didn't know if he was a ritualist. I didn't know his source of income and all that. So I told him that I'm sorry, I can't follow you to your house, but this place is really nice. Like, I don't mind staying here till evening and all that. And he was like, oh, you like here? And I said, of course, it's beautiful. And then he said, okay, he could pay for a room here for me. And I was like, oh no, I can't. I don't want a room alone for myself. Mind you, I had texted my friend before I went to see him. So when he offered to get a room, I texted my friend. I was like, see what this man is saying. He wants to get a room and all that. But I don't want to sleep there alone. That I would feel lonely sleeping there alone if she would like to come. And she was like, why not? She would like to come. So I told him that, my friend will be coming, and yeah, so I can sleep there alone. And then this man said, okay, he will pay for a room for me and my friend. And I was like, but he can't be there because we are two ladies and she won't be comfortable. And he was like, oh no problem. But he still wanted me to follow him home. He will keep saying, oh, are you sure you don't want to follow me home? So he asked me that this friend coming, does she wear waist bead too? I didn't know if she wore or she didn't wear. I just said, yeah, she does. I said, yeah, she does. And this man, he brought out some cash again. And he acted as if he wanted to count it. He started like doing the money like this. And all of a sudden, he handed it over to me again. And I was like, wow, this man must be tipsy. He just keeps giving me cash. So at this point, I didn't know how much he had given me, but I knew it was quite a lot of money. He had given me quite a lot of money because it was quite a lot. So yeah, he was feeling ashamed to meet my friend. I don't know, for some reason he was feeling shy. I was like, I wanted him to wait for him to meet my friend, and he said no, he couldn't wait. So he left. And then a few minutes after that, my friend came. Mind you, when I told my friend had mentioned to her younger sister at the time that she would be coming to meet me at Marriott. And when her younger sister had Marriott, she was like, oh, she would like to follow, blah blah blah. She would like, I said, why not? She can come. We're all three girls. So my friend got there. He had already left. So when he got there, he had already paid for the room and he left. So when my friends got there, okay, so why he gave me a lot of money? Because he, like I said, he kept giving me money. At this point, he had given me a lot of money. But it was when my friend got there, I was now showing her how much he gave me. And then we counted it. It was about, I think around 90 something thousand naira. I can't remember, either 94 or 95,000 naira. So my friend was in shock, like, what? And you said this man did nothing. I was like, yeah. Like, he was drunk and he kept giving me money. He was tipsy. He kept giving me money. So yeah, and I gave her the money he had given me to give her for waist bead. Yeah. So, and why he gave me so much money was because he knew we'd be sleeping there for the night and we needed to eat and all that. And he said in case we needed to go swim and we wanted to drink by the pool and all that. So I was excited. I remember that day. I still have snaps of it, of my friend, myself and her sister. We were spraying the money on the bed, just playing with it and all that. So that day comes and goes. Okay, so I chatted him to say, oh, thank you, my friends are here and they're happy, we're all having fun. And then he was like, oh, it's cool, whatever we need, we should let him know and all that. So that day passes by. So like I said, I had just gotten off a 2-year relationship and I had enrolled for a fashion school where I learned how to sew and all that. So I was done with the level 1 and I wanted to go to the level 2. This day he asked me what I will be doing and I told him that, oh, I'll be going for my fashion class, which I usually will go for every Monday, Wednesday and Friday. So yeah, I told him that, but I will be done with it in about a week, almost 2 weeks. That I'll be done with level 1 and I would like to move on to level 2, but I wasn't sure because of the price and I wasn't really sure if I wanted to do it. And then he asked me how much level 2 will cost and I told him 180,000 naira because that was what it was at the time, and that was like $300. And only for this man to be like, fine, he will give it to me. I was shocked. I was like, oh no, I didn't mean, I didn't ask you to give it to me. I was just telling you, like, I'm moving to level 2 and I wasn't sure if I was going to do it. And he said, no, that don't worry, he'll give it to me. Mind you, he didn't ask me for my account number because he had it already. He had saved it in his bank app. Only for me to receive an alert of 100,000 naira the next day. And immediately I saw it, I texted him. I was like, oh, thank you so much, sir. God bless you. Mind you, I still call him sir at this point. So yeah, he was like, oh, that's the balance of 80,000 naira. He'll give it to me the next week. This man liked to always act like he didn't have money. He would always pretend, oh, let's see what God will do, blah blah blah. But I remember he had told me he has 2 sons schooling abroad. One was schooling in America, the other was schooling in Canada. And as a Nigerian, I knew that to send 2 kids abroad at the same time to school, it's not cheap. So I knew this man has to have money. So I decided to Google this man. Mind you, at this point, this man had never asked me for anything. He hadn't asked me for sex, even though he was being flirtatious with me that day, like trying to get me to follow him to his house. But he would always say things like, oh no, I don't want you for that, I just want companionship. He was like, my wife is always out of the country, she's never around, so I just want you for companionship. Like, so that word companionship, he will always say that so many times. So I always think of him as Mr. Companionship. That was what he was always telling me, that he just wanted someone to spend time with and talk to, not necessarily sex. So I decided to Google this man. I Googled this man because obviously I now know his full name because he has sent me money a few times, and from the bank alert I could see his full name. So yeah, and he had given me a hint about where he worked. He didn't give me the exact company, but like so he had given me a hint, right? So I Googled this man, and why did I see this man on Google as one of the board of directors of this company? And my jaw dropped. Like, so I have been dealing with probably a billionaire in Nigeria, like a billionaire in Naira. That was what it meant, which was probably a millionaire in dollars. And I didn't know, and I was being naive. I was being a child. I wasn't asking him for stuff. He would offer to give me when I mentioned things to him. And the funniest part was he would pretend that like he's just a normal man. Like when he gave me money for the fashion school, he was like, he would see what he could do, trying to act like, oh, he really didn't have money, but when he did. So yeah, we kept talking and talking and talking. So one day this man was like, he would like to meet my mom. God bless her soul. She was still alive at this time. I don't want to get emotional. But yeah, he said he wanted to meet my mom. So I had to go tell my mom, like, oh, okay, this is what has been happening. I had to explain to her how I met him, and he even paid for my fashion school for the 2nd level. And she asked me, is he married? I said, yes. She asked me if he had kids. I said, yes. And then she asked if if he was still with his wife or divorced. And I told her everything. And basically she asked me his age, which I knew about because he had told me. At the time he told me he was 53. Yeah. So yeah, he told me he was 53 or 54. I've forgotten, something like that. But he was a year or 2 older than my mom. So yeah, when I told my mom was like, fine, she wanted to meet him. So when he came to meet my mom, I don't know the conversation they had because I wasn't there. But obviously, from what I told my mom, I think my mom was upset. She was really upset. But she didn't show it to me because, mind you, I wasn't a child at the time. I was a full blown adult. So it wasn't a case of, oh, him being a pedophile, like trying to, abuse a child or anything like that. I was an adult. But obviously, because he was married, had kids my age, my mom just knew this was never going anywhere. Like, it was never going anywhere. And it was my mom that even let me know that this man is a sugar daddy. Like, he's obviously a sugar daddy. He's old enough to be your father. And he's giving you money for what? So yeah, when he met my mom, I don't know the conversation they had, but my mom obviously made it clear to him that, see, Mr. Man, you're old enough to be this girl's father. So whatever you're thinking won't work, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, so it was even funny because why were you saying you want to meet my mom? Like, it didn't make sense. All of a sudden, he just said he wanted to meet my mom. He had told me about one girl one time he was helping, that he met her parents and they welcomed him and all that. So he wanted to meet my mom. And obviously, my mom didn't take it lightly with him. She didn't fight him. She didn't cuss him out, but she just let him know that this thing isn't going to work. And that was it. I won't lie to you and say I cut off all contact with him, because up until maybe a year or 2 years ago, like, he would chat me, checking up on me and all that, but he never went serious because my mom told him off. So yeah, that is the story about how I had a sugar daddy and I didn't even know I had one. If you'd like for me to do more stories, please do not forget to subscribe, hit the like button, share this video, and drop comments so I'll know you enjoy watching such videos and so I can make more videos like this. So thank you for watching and I'll see you in my next one. Ciao.